Hello there. Welcome to Gary LUCIEN Show. It's a new show, we're just starting it, and we'd like to let you know we're addressing the Caribbean community. The reason why we say that, it's because we all know the situation of the United States today. The new government, it's really hard on immigrants, and we know that we have to do certain things to prevent from being hurt or lost or green cards or whatever we have in this country. A lot of us before, we used to think that we belong here and we here forever, just like they call the green card permanent resident. We think we're there permanently. And even if you're a naturalized citizen, because you know there's a different type of citizen these days, before I didn't even know, I didn't even realize that was the case. But if you're born U.S. citizen, it's different than when you a naturalized citizen. Therefore, we're talking to people who came from the Caribbean, lives here in the United States, and who plan to stay here forever. But there are many things that we have to be careful with. For instance, if you're a green card holder, you have to do a lot to keep your green card safe. Now, I am talking to the immigrants who have permanent resident in this country. And we take that serious. It's a serious matter. We take it seriously. Now, the reason why we talking about that, it's because it's affecting a lot of people these days. If you were in the news recently, some of the ICE people, I think that was in Chicago, they shot and killed an immigrant. The immigrant tried to defend himself and he got shot. He went to the hospital. He didn't make it. That's very sad to know a country that's built by immigrants, and now we're getting killed to live in it. I truly believe, based on my experience, that people who live here, work here, I'm not saying they should give all of them permanent resident right away, because there's certain things you have to go through, certain steps. However, I don't believe they should be treating the way they should be treated the way they're treating them these days. There are a lot of things that we need to address today. For instance, we know there are people who have the green cards. They did work in the farms. They work really hard. They work and produce, some work in different things, but it's hard work. Some of them work at people's houses. For instance, they do maintenance. They do a lot in order to become a resident here. I don't think it's fair, or it is very, very important for them to learn how to protect their status. And to protect the status, they need to know, we need to know what to do. For instance, back in the days, if you have a problem, let's say you go to a store, you forget, you forgot, you take something with you. You say you forgot, they're gonna let you go. You say you forgot, they're gonna let you go. But these days, if you pick something in a store, you forgot, and then you get out with it, and they have a bell that's rang. If it's rang, they come to see you and they check the item. They can call the police can come. It's based on the discretion of the police officer. If he decides to take you and you get incarcerated because of it, they can call ICE. ICE can come pick you, and then you can be detained and be deported if you don't know what to do. It is very important to think about that. Now, all the Home Depots around the country, I know some of them already have it, but they're going to have that system and all the Home Depots soon. Walmart going to do it, Kmart going to do it, Publix going to do it, which means it's very dangerous if you an illegal immigrant or if you're a green card holder, to work in such facility and did something by mistake, you can get incarcerated and it can lead to deportation later. That's one thing we have to be careful, and many of our stores right now is doing it just to make sure that they get more deportation. I often talk about that. I told people the reason why the country become like that, they think that they have enough people now to do the work that we do, the hard labor. And also they have something they call majority and minority. We're growing real fast in the country. Therefore, I think they believe that it's slowing us down so we don't be the majority of the country soon. Now, the other things that are important is how they can get your permanent resident status away from you. For instance, there's a lot of people when they came in by fraud. We all know some people came with fake visa, some people came with with a U.S. passport, and some did other things. Among the things that we're talking about, there are people when their parents filed for them, the parents were U.S. resident, and if you have a son or a daughter, you file a petition on his behalf or on her behalf. You cannot bring them in if they're married back home. Now, if they are married, you have to be a citizen to file for them. We have all those things combined. Sometimes they prevent people from being a resident, but sometimes after you become a resident, they can take the status away from you once they find out. It is more important than ever when someone filing the application to become a resident to know exactly what's on there. I recommend everyone to keep a copy. With the copy, you have it recorded, you have it in your record. When you need it, you can bring it out to see what you have in there, because what you said in the application or what you add to the application 10, 15, 20 years ago, today become very, very important. The reason why I mentioned that also is because the last time I was at the immigration, I went to an interview with a lady. I was helping her, and then they asked her in her application, did you ever, where you belong to an organization? Sometimes it can be political organization and others. And she said no, and then she said she didn't remember. However, the officer that was conducting the interview, she brought a pile of paper. That was the papers for all the years that she's been in the United States. All those years, when she filed something, they kept the record. And among the papers that she had with her, I saw an application that called I-589, which is for political asylum, or for asylum. But she did file for political asylum. You know, asylum have 5 criteria that you can file under criteria, but she filed for political asylum. When I look at the file, I saw that she belonged to a political organization. She didn't even remember. Luckily for her, she had a good officer, and she was an older woman, and the officer decided to pass on it because she said she didn't remember. And then she continued with the interview. She asked other questions, and then the lady, the client or the applicant, she passed the test because she passed the other question that she was asked. She answered them, you know, she answered all the questions. That therefore, she was granted what she was requested, and then she became a citizen. I'm very happy for her. However, today it's different. It is different. That wasn't long ago, but not only she is an immigrant as well, the officer, but you can tell it is very difficult these days because they can bring stuff from years back to bring it up today, and then the next thing you know, it can create a real problem for you. Now, other ways that you can, they can take your green card away from you are, for instance, if you were a person that sells drugs or abuse drugs and you get caught with that. Let's say if you abuse drugs and then you're a permanent resident, they know that, and you can be in trouble for that. That it can be a problem. If you abuse alcohol too, that's a problem. If you get a lot of DUI, that's a problem. These days, if you get in a lot of car accidents because they're investigating those cases, for instance, you know, there's people who fix the accidents, and they do not like that because it's big time fraud to them, and they say they don't need people like that in this country anymore, they say. Now, one thing I can say, to me, when a person is a resident here or a U.S. citizen, now, you know, you can be a naturalized citizen or you can be a U.S. born citizen. But if you are a resident or a naturalized citizen, you went through a lot to have your paper. I think if you commit a crime, if you committed a crime, they should punish you for the crime and then release you, although they're gonna know that you committed the crime at all times. But to me, it's not worth it to split you with your family, to separate you with your family. I have an example of a gentleman. He's from Canada, but he was raised here. He came here when he was little, but he kept in touch with his family in Canada. As an example, he stayed in touch with his family in Canada. He did something when he was very young, maybe 17, 18, and now he's married. He went to school, he got a degree, and he has kids. He bought a house, but what he did was really wrong. And when he was coming back from Canada, guess what? He was detained and they didn't let him in the country. Now, it's really bad because this person been here almost all his life, and he's married. He's a person of good moral character right now because he's doing everything the right way. He went to school, have a degree, and he did everything that he was supposed to do. Guess what? They took everything away from him. In some situation, right now, in some situation, they can put you under deportation proceeding or removal proceeding. In some situation, when you're coming back from another country or your native country, they don't even let you in the country, which is really, really sad. Like I said before, many of the people, they have kids, home, and everything else here. When we say home, it doesn't have to be a place that you bought, a house. It can be a rental, but that's your home. That's where you live. That's where you have your family. They have to understand that. You have your wife, you have your children. Sometimes you live with your mom, your stepmother, all of that. So this have to be taken in consideration. But the way I see things going right now, they don't. There are other ways that people can lose their green card. For instance, there are people, like I mentioned that before, but I need to readdress it because it's very important. There are people who have the green card. When they were coming here, they came on a fake visa, or some people use U.S. passport. The reason why I mentioned that again, and some people married to someone to obtain green card, now they are investigating people who's doing that. Like fake marriage, you can say that. Or I'm sure you remember, I think there is a guy named Slick Rick, I think that was his name. He had a song that a fool got married against the law because that person married to obtain the permanent resident status. Now, they're investigating this type of case, and if they find people with that situation or in that situation, they're gonna take the green card away from you easily. Now, what they do, they checking, let's say if you married with someone, you got your resident status. What you do, you take that status, you turn around and marry someone else real fast. The reason why they do that sometimes, it's because the real lover or the real husband is not the person they married for the green card. And the next person they're going to marry is actually the person they're going to live with. Sometimes they do it too quick. It is the reason why right now, if you become a resident, they want you to wait at least 5 years before you marry someone else. And do remember that if you turn around and marry someone real quick, you're gonna be under strong investigation. They're gonna go deep, very deep into it, and believe me, if there's any little mistake, they're going to find out. And it's easy to have mistakes about that. Let me tell you why. Let's say we had a banking account and we had car insurance, we had a mortgage, or we have a leasing contract, we bought furniture together. Anything you know that a person can do together with a wife, you did it, okay? Or the person did it, just to make sure they can show the authenticity of the marriage. And guess what? You go to the interview, you obtain your green card, and then 6 months later, 7, 8 months, you're divorced. It's very important to think about that. Not only you divorce, you no longer have banking account with the person soon before the divorce. No insurance together. No nothing. And believe it or not, before that, you had a lot of transaction that you were doing with the wife or with the husband that can be detected easily. That was so vivid. And listen, when that happens, these people are not just anybody. They are people that they prepare for that. They know how to dig into this type of things. So when they do, they're gonna find out things, and then they're gonna take your green card away from you. What I tell the people that mostly from the Caribbean, to be careful. You know who you are. I'm sitting here talking to you. If I want to have a quick glance about myself, I can do it. I can say, well, this is who I am, real quick. Because I remember myself since I was, 6, 7, maybe younger, up until now. Maybe I don't remember every little details about myself, but I remember a lot of things. I remember how I become a resident. I remember how I become a citizen. I remember things that I did in school. I remember when I used to go out, what I used to do. I remember my first car, you know? So there's a lot of things you know about yourself. So if you know certain things wouldn't go with the way they're doing things right now, stay away from it. For instance, there's some people I tell them, they have a green card. I say, you don't need to travel right now. Don't travel, because when you're coming back, there'll be some issues because you had some problem in the past. Now, I went away maybe 2 weeks ago. On my way back to the United States, they have something not the size of the computer, but the size of a tablet. What they did, they make you put your face to it, and then you see your name. They took your passport first, and then they, I think from his side, he can see a lot of information about me. He saw a lot of information about me. He looked at it. They give him a green light on the other side, and he said, you're good to go. But that's the way they do it, and it doesn't take time for your information to come up. Therefore, it is very, very important if you are traveling, if you're going to see your loved ones in your native country, or you want to have a vacation. Don't do it, even if you're a U.S. citizen, because in this show that I'm doing, it's going to be almost every week. I'm going to talk more about green card, what can make you lost your green card. They can take it away from you, and then we're going to talk about denaturalized as well. And there's a lot more things that we can talk about immigration, because these days immigration is the hottest issue there is out there, especially for immigrants. There's another thing. When you travel, don't sign the form 407. It is a form. When you sign it, it's like you give away your green card. They make you sign it. If you sign it, you give away your green card. Period. This is why you must read what you signing, especially when you're coming here from overseas, like wherever you come from. In fact, you don't have anything to sign. What they do, they'll check your passport. They tell you welcome back. If the officer is a good officer, a nice officer, they'll tell you welcome back. He's going to ask you how long you were going for. You can tell him. What did you go there for? Vacation, or I went to see someone that was sick, or I went to visit a country that I just wanted to know what the country is like. Once you answer that, you put a stamp in your passport showing the date you return. You don't have to sign any paper. You know? But when they present the paper to you, it's like you signing your green card away. So be careful that Form 47, I-47, please don't sign it. It is very important for you to know. It is not necessary for you to sign anything. what I just mentioned to you just a minute ago, they are the questions that you should ask, and you can answer them as well. How long you were going for, where did you visit, and the officer can go further. He can say, did you enjoy it? If it was a vacation, or if it was you were visiting someplace, and that's all. And he put the stamp in your passport, give your passport back, and he can say, welcome back. You don't have to go further. There are other reasons why they can take away your green card. For instance, when you fill out the application, remember I mentioned that earlier, it is very important to keep a copy for yourself, because some application, there are so many questions they ask you, if you were this, if you were that, if you've ever been, if you've been in and out, if you've been part of any organization, religious organization, guerrilla organization, if you've been in the military, all type of questions. Some of the forms, they ask the question, and you have to be careful with the person who's preparing the form for you. I mean the applications. The reason why you have to be careful, some of the preparing, the people who prepare the application for you, or the people who prepare application for people, they don't ask you some question because they think if they ask you, if it's a no, they're not gonna give you the green card, or they're not gonna grant your request. It's not gonna be granted. It's not like that. Some things that you did or that happens to you, let's say if you were in the military, you said no in one form, in another form you said yes, and they see most likely you were in the military. Now they're going to consider the one that you put no as a lie, because the other person did it without asking you the question. They think they should automatically put a no for you just to make sure you get the green card. They think they're doing you a favor. In fact, they put you in a position to lose your green card. This is why you should always look at your form, look what the people put in there. That'll serve you good. And also, there are people who, like I said to you, married, that's one thing they really, really, really pay attention to. People who committed crimes, they pay attention to that. And they do talk about firearm. A lot of people that have firearm, I know a guy, he has a business, but he doesn't know how to treat people. He get upset very easily. The fact that he is like that, he always arguing with people, he carries his gun wherever he goes. And some permit you have, it doesn't allow you to take the gun anywhere you go. Some permit you have, I believe if you have a business, it stays inside your business. You cannot circulate to go wherever you want to go with it. If it's for home, it stays home. And a lot of people like to walk around, go anywhere with their guns. And if you're a permanent resident, even if you're a U.S. citizen, now, you remember I told you there's a big difference between a U.S. citizen who is a naturalized citizen and a U.S. born citizen. If you were born in the United States, you committed certain crimes, they'll put you in jail or in prison, and then they release you after you pay for what you did. But if you're a naturalized citizen these days, they check to see if it's a felony, if you have more than one, if it's a misdemeanor, or if you have many of them, they can denaturalize you or they can deport you. Especially if you got those benefits I mean, green card or a citizenship by force. You have to be very, very careful. You remember one thing I mentioned to you? If your parents filed for you, they were residents, okay? And then you were married at the time, they couldn't put it on the paper because if they did, they wouldn't be able to file for you. So most people, if they're residents, they file for their kids. I mean, for their children. They're no kids anymore because they're married. They didn't. They wouldn't put it on paper, on the form, on the application. So what happened later on? I didn't describe to you how they get cut. They get cut because they have kids. On the birth certificate of the children or the kids, they become adults, but when they doing something in the United States, sometimes they forgot, the papers stated that this person was a child that was born under marriage when the parents were married to each other. And some birth certificate, they explain clearly if the person were married at the time, if the people were married at the time they have the child. Some say legitimate or, and in that case, it's easy for the officer to know if the parents were married at the time or not. And the parents that brought their children here, the children themselves, they forgot when they came here, they were not married. They have documents for their children or other documents they present to the immigration sometimes showing that they are married. So therefore, you have to be very, very careful when you presenting document in front of immigration in the future when you were involved in this situation, because they can take your green card away from you just like that. It is why we're asking people, all the people, to verify the documents that they presented to immigration in the past, because it can create a lot of problems for you. You remember I mentioned also, these days, when you steal a candy from a shop, you get caught, it can become a real problem for you. Later on, they can take away your green card. There is another thing that's really, really important for you to know when you're a green card holder. A lot of people like to go back home and they stay home for 6 months. If you stay home outside of the United States for 6 months and a day, that's mean you spend more than a half of the year overseas or wherever you went. Now, when you come back, you're going to have a lot of questions to answer. They might call you to a hearing because they think that you want to be a resident somewhere else. Okay, it's very difficult now. Some people, they stay for 2 months, they come here, stay for 2 weeks, they go back. That is good. It is not so good, but it is good because you stay no longer than 6 months. However, there are people who stay away from the United States for a year. People like that, if you're a U.S. resident, on your way back, they can stop you. Not only they can stop you, they may not let you in the country. This is very, very terrible for people who got themselves in this situation. They won't let you in. If they don't let you in because they feel that you're not a resident of the United States, you're a resident someplace else. If you are a resident in the United States, you would at least be in the United States for a certain time during the year. months or whatever. That's why it is very, very important for you to know when you're a green card holder, you cannot stay outside of the United States for longer than 6 months. It's better if you stay within 6 months, 2 months, 3 months. And if you can stay longer here, that's even better because you live here. If you live here, you don't have to be in another country for 4, 5, 6 months, unless if you have an emergency. For instance, if you have a parent that is very sick and you have documents from a doctor showing that your parent was sick and you were the one who taking care of your mother or your father, or maybe even your husband that live outside of the country, and you can be sick also or some situation that you cannot come back, but you have to have what they call evidence and writing, because they're not going to take any little thing you say to them thinking that you going to come in the way you left easily. No, you can leave. Just show your passport and your green card. But on your way back right now, they check. Some situation people leave the country and on their way back, they don't say nothing. People think, oh, everything is fine. You know why? I used to travel a lot. You know what they do? If you travel late, sometimes when you travel in the last flight, if you travel late, the officer wants to go home sometimes. If you're not a bad person, they don't even check everything that they should be checking. So sometimes they let you go, you think everything is clean, everything is neat. Oh, I traveled last year, I didn't have any problem. This year I can do the same thing. No. Not only because it was late, the officer wanted to go home, and the regulations right now changed. It changed. Therefore, you have to be very, very careful, because what happened last year or the year before last year is totally different this year. The application, sometimes you can lie about something, you don't even know it, because you think it's normal to answer the question the way you did just to get your green card. I'm not talking about a preparer who prepared it for you. I'm talking about you. Let's say, for instance, a person was married and divorced. Do you know in the application right now, they have 2 categories for that? One say divorce, one say single, never married. A long time ago, when you divorce, you just put single, that's it. But these days, you got to check the divorce box, because if you don't, you can get in trouble just for that. A lot of people lost their green card or their citizenship because a box that they checked. That box can put you in trouble. It's not something you do because you want to do it. It's not because something you do purposely. You did it unintentionally, but they think you do it intentionally, and that can cause some real headache, some real problem for you. What I tell people, you don't have to have an attorney to pay all the times, but you can have an attorney that you can call in case there's a problem. You can tell them that, hey, I know you're a good attorney. I like to have your number, because the family probably needs an attorney in case things happen. We like to use you. So this is my name. My name is so and so. This is my address. This is my phone number. You can put a list of people that you want, which is could be your wife, your husband, and your kids, or some people that close to you, and you give to that attorney, and that's who we want to use in case something happens. And you can have a chance to call that person, the attorney. If something happened, it'll respond real quick. The reason why I say that, sometimes you go in jail or in prison or an immigration camp, or where they detain people, you don't know what to do and you don't know who to call. Therefore, it is very, very important to have your attorney, to have you in file, and you have the information of your attorney. If you can memorize it, it's even better, because no matter where you are, you can call that attorney. I'm saying that if you are a clean person, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do that, but it'll be better if you do it. But if you think there's a little thing with your past, that you did something that you shouldn't do, it's not a big deal, but the immigration these days make a big deal out of it. It's better that you prepare yourself, so if in case something come up, then you have a way to deal with it. It is very, very important to do that. And we all know immigration is cracking down on illegal immigrants. And sometimes when people talk, people say, well, it's people who committed crime in this country, who kill people, who's selling drugs, who's doing this and that. Guess what? While they're looking for the people, if they catch you that you don't have paper, you're not legal, or you have other issues, they'll get you too. So you have to be very, very careful. Next week, we're going to talk about something that is very important. Some widowers who have a pending application, I-130 petition. Someone petitioned for them, and then the person died, passed away, and then we could show you how you can help yourself to obtain the green card anyway. Now, this session brought to you by LUCIEN product. Some people say LUCIEN because it's spelled L-E-R-O-I, but it's LUCIEN because it's in French product. It's a company that's been around for almost 2 years now. The people involved in it, the herbalists or the naturalists, has been around for 31 years since we've been in this business. We help people with supplements that are good for blood pressure, which is high tension. Some people say like that. Blood sugar, which is people with diabetes. We have people with cholesterol. We have people with kidney and liver. Brain support, that people who has dementia or that cannot memorize. It's really good. We have supplements that are good for joint pain, bones, that really, really good. We have supplement that's good for hair and skins. We have some that are good for men, that build your libido and testosterone, that would get you stronger, build your immune system, that would keep you strong to do the things that you're supposed to do with your partner. It is very, very good. Even women take it too, because it helped them. We have a lot of product. We have some that are good for gas and acid. It can detox, cleans your body. We have something that helps people with cancer, prevention too. And we also have one for flu, like fever and cold. and if you have the flu, you can use it. They're really good. If you use the Loire product, I guarantee you, you're gonna love it because they're all natural and organic. We use the perfect product that you can use, and it is good to use herbs and roots because these things are the best to take stuff away from you. What happens is when you take herbs or natural stuff, it doesn't only suit the problem, but it'll get rid of the problem most of the time. But it is why if you need natural stuff, you can call us from LUCIEN at 561-541-5004, or you can call the main office at 561-586-9918. The next show we're gonna give you the website and the 800 number where you can order, because we can ship it all over the world to you. We thank you. That's our first show in English, and then we're gonna continue to work like that with you, and hopefully we can bring you more shows that can help you more in any situation, immigration situation that you're in. We thank you again and have a blessed day.